Previously on the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast.
Next, we're going to bring to the stage the hosts of the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club, featuring Matt Evercool and Chris Horton.
Hello, everyone. I'm Matt, and I'm thrilled to be here. See so many faces, and been here before as an attendee, and this is my first time as a guest, and really excited.
And I'm Chris, kind of from South London, and this is my first time in Minnesota. So thank you for having me. And we're doing the pub quiz. There's some kind of immediately after this. We're also doing podcasts, and we're going to be here throughout the weekend. So do come up and say hi.
And Chris and I have been doing the show together for 7 years, and this is the first weekend we met in person, so it's special for us as well.
And now our story continues.
Console Room, and welcome everyone to the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast. This is Matt in Minnesota.
Chris in South London, or actually Minnesota.
Today we're going to be talking about Choose Your Own Adventure novels, both the range in general, but then also the Doctor Who versions. Show of hands, how many people are familiar with Choose Your Own Adventure novels already?
For the benefit of the tape, it's about most of the room, but not everybody.
Briefly, they're a form of game book. It's written in second person. So it's written like, you are so-and-so's niece or nephew and are on a grand adventure or something. And your first choice is, do you get in the boat or do you take the train?
Yeah.
And then you flip to a particular page and go from there.
Yeah.
Choose Your Own Adventure books were created by Edward Packard.
Yeah.
So in 1969, Edward Packard wrote Sugarcane Island,
which I own, but I did not bring. I brought quite a few books, but not that one in particular.
He was telling the story to his two daughters. He was a lawyer at the time, and it took him almost a decade for that to get published.
And then he wrote a couple of other ones, like a Western and then a space adventure. And he was shopping around the format, and he partnered up with a guy out in Vermont known as Ron Montgomery, who writes the more kind of psychedelic sort of Choose Your Own Adventures. And they got a publishing deal with Bantam.
And the way that worked is they each retained copyright control of the works that they published, as well as the authors that they brought on. So Edward Packard found
Other author
who did some of the martial arts related stories. I think there are 5 or 6 of those in the series. And Ron Montgomery retained copyright for the writers he brought on, including his wife, Shannon Gilligan, who's still writing books today for the Chooseco Company. And off the basis of that, they were able to get a contract with Bantam in 1979, and The Cave of Time became the first story published. And from there, they were able to launch the line.
Yeah.
And so I'll show you here the first Choose Your Own Adventure book that was published.
And I think the line continues to this day with occasional hiatuses.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've also been renumbered, and
Most of the Choose Your Own Adventure books stopped by 97. And in 1999, Bantam had let the trademark lapse, and so Ron was very astute in paying attention and snapped it up, I think, before Edward even knew that it was an option. So they kind of went their separate ways, and Ron was republishing the works that he had access to from a copyright perspective.
And then Edward Packard, who I believe is still with us,
Partnered with a computer game company, I think U Ventures, to publish some of his books in that format, interactive visual novel that you would play electronically.
So R.A. Montgomery can reprint, or his estate, I should say, can reprint the ones he wrote. But this is the first book in the line. It's The Cave of Time, published in 1979, and it's been reprinted a few times with different covers. And then the second book, and they would kind of alternate with the occasional other author, but this is Journey Under the Sea, which is the second novel, and this one's by R.A. Montgomery. And these are fully illustrated. The reprints take out some kind of outdated technology, like instead of fax machines, you'll get updates to like text messaging and those sorts of things. One of the cool things about the Journey Under the Sea is that it was recently reprinted as a graphic novel, fully illustrated, and it's kind of cool that you see. So from a comic perspective, if you're a comic book fan, this is one to take a closer look at to see how they did the layout and all of that good stuff.
One of the concerns Edward had was that, for the most part, he was trying to make the characters gender neutral, especially because he was telling these stories to his daughters. He also had a son who was younger, but wasn't old enough to read or anything at that point. Bantam wanted the depictions to be all boys, and so there was a bit of back and forth there. And it wasn't until the success of like the Babysitters Club series in the mid-1980s that they finally started going more gender neutral with the protagonists.
Yes.
My favorite cover for Choose Your Own Adventure is number 80, The Perfect Planet, because it's so 80s. You've got a kid in like a neon...
It's Mac and Me, basically, isn't it? It's pretty much Mac and Me. So a kid who looks like he's from kind of like Benji and the Prince of Power being pursued by some kind of UFO, and Mac and Me running after him, or Mac.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If he was green.
Yes.
Chris, what was your first experience with the
Choose Your Own Adventures? They were available in my school library because I quite liked text-based adventures. I very much appreciated having books that I could read that also had a kind of like an interactive format. And yeah, I remember The Cave of Time. I also remember as well some of the junior ones, because like my brother found some of the Choose Your Own Adventure a little bit too scary. So like the junior ones, like less bad things happened to the reader.
Those were the Skylark editions, and I think there were over 50 of those made. And that's funny you mentioned that, because that was my first experience of a Choose Your Own Adventure book, was one of the early Skylarks. I think it was called Help You're Shrinking, which I discovered in a doctor's office waiting room. And was just enthralled by it, and that you could actually make decisions within the story and it would affect the outcome.
And there were time travel ones that would go into, it wasn't part of the Choose Your Own Adventure series, but it was part of another series in which you would find yourself, for example, in Botany Bay when the British sort of were arriving in Australia.
Botany
Bay, and other key moments of history. And that I found fascinating, because already at that early stage I knew I enjoyed history and time travel.
And you're at a Doctor Who convention.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't he, Hans?
The last book in the Choose Your Own Adventure range that was published was number 184, and I think that was either Mayday or a Titanic-related one. But then there were rumors about a 185th book for a number of years, and I don't know how true this is, or if it was like similar to like Andrew Cartmel going online and figuring out, oh, this is what season 27 was supposed to be. This is going to provide me the outline. But the 185th was published recently, which is Escape from the Haunted Warehouse by Ron Montgomery's son, Anson. So that completes the original collection. And on the back, they've started publishing diagrams of all the choices, which I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not, because it kind of spoils, or at least lets you know, which are the more lengthy paths through the adventures. A couple of other highlights from the original range. There were two super adventures published. One is Journey to the Year 3000 by Edward Packard. And of course, if Edward publishes one, then Ron has to publish one too. So he published Danger Zones. And what was cool about these is they were about twice the length of the originals, and you had more choices to go through as well.
Were they too broad and too deep for
the small screen?
Yes.
Well, it says Bigger adventure, more challenging choices, more thrilling dangers.
Okay. I think I remember Danger Zones, but I don't remember the other one. But, yeah.
And then once Choose Your Own Adventure, the popularity launched, and then you started getting all of the knockoff lines, like Which Way books. There were a couple of Star Trek-related ones published. We have Voyage to Adventure by Michael Dodge. And Chris, if you want to describe that cover.
Yeah, it's the creature of the Black Lagoon, and what appears to be a service station. There we go, Michael J. Dodge. The other one is a fairly bland cover of Kirk and Spock and the Enterprise. It is Star Trek Phaser Fight by Barbara and Scott Siegel.
One of the things I really liked about these was that at least one of the books, it's from the perspective of you're a new cadet or an ensign aboard the Enterprise. So you beam aboard, and your first decision is, which division do you want to sign up for? Do you want to be a red shirt, a yellow command, or a blue, science and medical? And then it kind of your choices go from there. There have also been Star Wars books, but I didn't grab any examples of those. And then a couple of other ones that were published from Which Way.
Oh, yes.
We have 4 from DC Comics.
Yes.
So in celebration of Superman's 50th birthday.
Yep.
And this was tied to the Superpowers Kenner toy line.
Yep. Okay. And see Superman and Lex Luthor in his purple and green outfit and what appears to be the Phantom Zone people. I remember seeing this in a shop, but not actually buying it at the time. Because I remember that Marvel had its own one, which was my introduction to Spider-Man getting married.
Oh, don't tell me Marvel had a line too.
Oh, didn't you know?
No, well, now I'm going to have to go get that.
Oh, okay, yeah. That might be just UK specific, but yeah, certainly those involved you rolling a dice, but yeah, there would often be some grisly fates for Spider-Man.
Yeah, we should mention that too, that some of the books, like the Choose Your Own Adventure line, are more straightforward in the narrative, but there's a couple of examples we're going to show and that were put out by FASA, a role-playing game company, where you had that sort of random chance element where you would roll dice and such.
Yeah.
The other 3 DC ones that were released, I forget who did this cover, but I think he's a pretty famous. This is the second book in the line was Supergirl, and she's wearing her headband, which was very short-lived. Was going to be part of the Helen Slater movie, and then they decided to go without the headband. But by that point, DC Comics had updated the character design, so she has that 80s headband when she's killed off in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
We also have the Doomsday Prophecy, which is a Batman Choose Your Own Adventure, which I remember getting as part of the Scholastic Book Club, and then a Justice League of America one.
And also I remember there being Hardy Boys ones.
Oh, I didn't know about those either.
And also Asterix, a French comic character who you may or may not know.
And so we're getting close to when Doctor Who started publishing them. But just before that, we have a couple of more. And now Star Trek has gone, they're no longer associated with the Which Way license, but they're part of the Plot Your Own Adventure stories. So we have Distress Call by William Rostler, which takes place in and around Star Trek II.
Yep, with clips from on the cover, including the Enterprise console room in a state of alarm.
Or, the bridge.
Yes.
And then Star Trek III, also by the same author.
The Vulcan Treasure, again with photos from Star Trek 3.
And then also by the same author, Plot Your Own Adventure story, The Goonies, Cavern of Horror.
All right.
So there's a missing Goonies adventure out there.
Yeah, is that the only Goonies continuation?
There's the novelization of the Goonies, and then there was also the Goonies 2 video game.
Oh, okay, right.
So that brings us to the mid-1980s and kind of the Colin Baker era.
Yes.
And that's where some Doctor Who Choose Your Own Adventures were published. And these, in the United States, had a Find Your Fate moniker, but in the UK, I believe it was Make Your Own Adventure With.
Yeah, I know him as Find Your Fate because whilst I am British, I didn't grow up in the UK. Yeah, so I think I had Find Your Fates.
The US versions have much better covers than the UK versions, to the point where I haven't collected any of the UK ones. One of these is written by Pip and Jane Baker.
Yes. Are there make and white modems in that, or no?
It's been a while since I read it. But there's 6 Doctor adventures, but you're paired up with K9.
Yes. So we have Search for the Doctor, in which the Doctor has been captured by the evil mastermind Omega, and only you can save him. Yeah. And Omega in capital letters. And it also features Drax, bizarrely.
From the Armageddon Factory.
Yes. And Drax has a TARDIS disguised as a 1956 Cadillac, which sounds interesting. 2, we have Crisis in Space by Michael Holt, in which there's a kind of like barbarian figure, and the Sixth Doctor is tied up. So this book features the Sixth Doctor and Turlo, that classic combination. And because Turlo intercepts a message from outer space, because Garth Hades, the overlord of the gruesome Golons, has instructed his slaves, this gets dodgier, folks, the Midnight Black Meroids, to release a new planet into the solar system. But the planet is a fake, and it's actually a black hole capable of annihilating the entire solar system. Yeah, that's a thing. We have as well Garden of Evil by David Martin, that seems to feature a gargoyle using facility. It looks like it's going to the toilet on a pedestal by some stained glass, and looks like that might feature Turlo, but I don't think it does. And Colin there looks, bless him, he looks more svelte than he does on television.
The dashing action hero that is the Sixth Doctor.
Yes, and features a scientist prophet called Ellis, who has led his followers in a great exodus across the cosmos to find the gift of life. So it's a wee bit biblical, and it says, unless you and the Doctor can find Ellis, then someone called the Maker will win. Finds really quite biblical, but I assume that you play the Doctor's companion in that.
Yeah, the details of these may...
Yes, very vague.
Plan on rereading them all once I'm retired.
Yes, but also I wonder with the Turlo one, whether you choose, like, I will now randomly menace the Doctor. I will kind of like hover a brick over him. But we have Mission to Venice by William Ems, and William Ems would have written Sorry? Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, whatever it was. But yeah, William Ems would have written a story for season 23. And the Doctor is a passenger on a doomed runaway spaceship. You are his only hope. And so he appears to be sort of like caught by some tendrils that have what appear to be flashlights coming at the end of them. So it's kind of maybe like a Vervoidy type thing. And you and the Doctor materialise for a crash in a most unusual place, inside a spaceship. Like, that does happen to the Doctor a bit. Yeah, and there are tall glass jars filled with jelly-like plants desperately want out. But why? Yeah. We have, as well, Philip Martin, creator of Syl, and so a Sixth Doctor television writer, did the Invasion of the Ormazoids, which has a cover of the Doctor lying on what seems to be a church roof, being menaced by some kind of Greek godlike figure, which is peculiar. I know I have read some of these, but I cannot for the life of me tell you which. But he is on the Rim Worlds, which is interesting. A turbulent, primitive, and strange region, and he is there to meet Darval. Not Davros, but Darval, an evil ruler with a fascinating history and bizarre energy. And then last, and possibly least, is Race Against Time by Pip and Jane Baker, which features the Sixth Doctor and would appear to be Perry. It is Perry. And so the reader, Perry, and the Doctor are caught in time limbo, which is the worst possible place for a Time Lord to be. And they need to reach, defuse a time destabilizer, an invention that threatens not just the solar system, not just the galaxy, but the entire universe. So if you fail, you'll be suspended for all eternity in a vacuum with no light, no dark, no beginning, no end. Like a hiatus period.
Yeah.
Those are the Sixth Doctor Find Your Fates. But
yeah.
So did you have any favourites that you can remember? Or
I don't.
No,
I recall the first one where you're getting the K9 in a box out of an attic.
Right. Because the Doctor is famous for
yeah.
doing things like that.
I'm wondering, is that K9 Mark III? Is it
Yes.
K9 Mark IV? And around about the same time, in 1986, there were 2 game books published by FASA, and they're both by William H. Keith Jr. The first one is called Doctor Who and the Vortex Crystal, which features the 4th Doctor and
Sarah Jane?
appears to be Sarah Jane. The likeness looks more like her daughter in real life, Sadie Miller. There's that one, which takes place on the fog-shrouded planet Gathri.
Okay, and seems to feature the Daleks. Yeah, I imagine that. Yeah, you're right. It looks a lot more like Sadie Miller than it does Elizabeth Sladen. No, that is quite peculiar.
And these had elements of rolling dice as well.
Yeah.
And then this one, I'm sure, has not aged very well. This is
Uh-oh.
Doctor Who and the Rebels Gamble,
Oh.
featuring the 6th Doctor and Perry.
Right.
Both of their likenesses are a little bit closer.
Yes.
And then you have, it looks like,
I don't like where this is going.
American soldiers in the Civil War, and you have the Confederate flag on the cover.
Nice. And Nicola Bryant looks like she's auditioning for Gone with the Wind.
What does that one say on the back?
It says that the Doctor and his companions, which makes me think, is Turlo back? Is K9? Yeah, maybe you're the companion. Yeah. Travel back to America at the time of the Civil War. And there they learned that a time-loose rebel soldier has discovered how the war turned out and is hard at work, making certain that this time around the South wins. That's Harry Turtledove, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which of these came first.
Like Guns of the South.
Yes.
Maybe he was inspired by it.
Maybe. Yeah, I am sure that has aged very well. Listener.
We'll be doing dramatic readings from that later.
Well, yes.
So those were the initial Doctor Who ones, and then
Yes.
when the new series came back, there were more. But
Yes.
before we get there, let's maybe return back to what the overall Choose Your Own Adventure line was doing. So by 1997 or so, they ended. However, there were still, I would say maybe the period of knockoffs or so before Ron Montgomery got the license back and started releasing Choose Co. brand books. But in that time, you had books like the Star Wars Choose Your Own Adventure books came out around the same time as the re-releases in the theaters of the original trilogy leading up to The Phantom Menace.
So Choose Your Own Adventures had its own wilderness years. Is that what you're telling me?
It did.
Okay.
And then these are some of the knockoff books, which I want to highlight because they're fun. So
Sorry, I have just seen the title. This is something.
So we have 2 in the Date with Destiny Adventure range, which sort of look like the Choose Your Own Adventure format. The first one by Miranda Clark is called Night of 1,000 Boyfriends. Tonight's blind date could be a dream come true or your worst nightmare. And we can't forget Escape from Fire Island. It's every gay man's dream vacation, but when disaster strikes, you must escape.
Right. Wasn't that on Netflix? Was that not like a thing that actually happened?
Well, there's Bandersnatch.
No. I mean Fire Island.
Oh.
There was, yes, Fire Island.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Or the Fire Festival.
Netflix in the UK, I think, but yes.
Kind of along that same line, we have the Misadventure series, which had 2 books in that series. We had Misadventure number 1, Tangle in Tijuana. Which I don't know if you want to describe that cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, what in the UK some people might describe as kind of being kind of like chick lit. Yeah, it has what appears to be a Barbie knockoff, and she's wearing pink with a belt with Misadventure, and there's a pony giving side eye, and also what appears to be the creature from the Black Lagoon again. This is a theme I was not expecting.
There are some fun little prompts on the back of that one too.
Okay. Wow. So there are various options of like, will you flash the crowd to win a dance contest? It gets worse. Will you give in to your baser impulses and blow all of your money on Viagra? Like, how old is she dating? Like, will you land yourself in jail for buying a shopping bag full of M80 fireworks? I don't know what M80 fireworks are, but yes. Or will you party with a group of slightly shady but smoking hot rich guys on their yacht? I think she may.
And followed up by the sequel,
Yes, okay, all right.
which is called Beauty Queen Blowout.
So we now have, Beauty Queen Blowout, which seems to have, I forget her name now, but from Mad Men, the kind of like the secretary lady, wearing a kind of tiara and what appears to be maybe Jimmy Bond. So 1 crown, 1 millionaire bachelor with 52 contestants and 37 possible outcomes. Will you be a winner? And the various options you have are: will you be forced to room with a neurotic pageant lifer and her domineering stage mom? Will you team up with the troublemaking Miss Texas to dose the other girls with ecstasy?
Like I said, these were written in the late 90s. So
Yes.
They're delving into Virgin New Adventure themes.
Yes. Or will you walk away with the crown on your head and the haughty son of the wealthy pageant sponsor on your arm? That feels slightly Trumpian. But yes.
And then a couple of others. We have a couple by Bob Powers in the Just Make a Choice series.
Like, just make a choice! Crying out loud, make a decision. Right. You're a miserable excuse for a hero. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you're directing the story, and the choices you make result in murder, graduate school enrollment, marriage, post-apocalyptic slavery, unwanted pregnancy, and even temping.
And I think he followed up on that last one with the sequel.
The terrible, horrible temp to perm debacle. So, will you go perm and enjoy the benefits of healthcare? Or would you escape into the sewers and live with the mole people? It's like, what? Or choose both.
And bringing it back into Doctor Who a little bit, we have an autobiography by the toy maker himself, Neil Patrick Harris.
Choose your own autobiography.
So he wrote his autobiography in the form of a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, which that feels very on brand, doesn't it? Yes. And he appears to be recreating scenes from North by Northwest. At the top left, he has a kind of a magician hat with smoke billowing out, and it's pragmatist, host, geek, dad. Oh, Neil Patrick Harris. Yes.
And then kind of getting back to Doctor Who.
Oh, yes, I remember that, yes.
We have 12 books that were released featuring the 10th Doctor and Martha. And these are the Decide Your Destiny line.
Yes.
And one of the criticisms I have with this line is only about half of them are in the traditional choose your own adventure format, where, say, like, let's say you're in a warehouse, there's a door ajar in the distance, or there's an elevator to your right. Which one do you choose? Which would kind of be typical second person, how they're all written. But there is one author in particular, I think it might be Colin
Brake,
maybe.
Yes.
Where he does the choices way differently.
Okay, because Colin Brake he's a script editor and script writer, I think, for EastEnders as well as a Doctor Who author.
And yeah, he may have not quite understood the format. Yeah. Because he puts you more in the role of like the master of the land of fiction, where rather than presenting you with a choice in narration, he says, if the ship is attacked, go to this page, or if he's shot from behind, go to this page. So you kind of dictate the narrative qualities.
Yeah, you're the director.
Yeah, instead of yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what a script editor would do. But it's an interesting choice. But we have The Horror of Howling Hill by Jonathan Green, in which the Doctor and Martha discover the truth behind The Horror of Howling Hill. It's a fantastic blurb. It gives you no sense as to where Howling Hill is. We have The Dragon King by Trevor Baxendale, with a moody publicity shot of David, and your journey takes you to the planet Elandon, where people live side by side with dragons, but there are hunters from a neighbouring planet. Yeah.
We have The Second Skin by Richard Dungworth, where you find yourself on a 23rd century space station, and you realize a dangerous alien parasite has taken over most of the people on board. So kind of a alien or aliens
We have a surprisingly fed up looking David Tennant for Lost Luggage by Colin Brake. Lost Luggage, such an evocative title. And says, with the TARDIS going missing in a busy spaceport, the Doctor must race across time and space to find it before the spaceship is lost forever. And it's like, oh, okay, right. So he forgot where to park. Right, or where he had parked. We have The Haunted Wagon Train. This may have local interest, but it's by Colin Brake, so maybe not. But pioneers travelling across the American Midwest report ghost sightings, but you, the Doctor and Martha, believe it's extraterrestrial activity. Can you track down the aliens before it's too late?
And here we have Dark Planet by Davey Moore, which I think is the same publicity shot of David Tennant, but with Martha joining. And in this one, it says, Earth is divided. The upsiders live in luxury, while the downsiders scavenge in the dark world below. Can you help the Doctor and Martha bring the two conflicting sides back together? So, fiction, I guess, right?
We have War of the Robots by Trevor Baxendale with David Tennant looking... There's a Sonic come hither look to his eyes there with a sonic screwdriver. So this is possibly tying in with a range we'd been talking about previous. And on a distant world populated by robots, war has been raging for many years. Can you, the Doctor and Martha, not on the cover, discover why the robots are fighting and end the war once and for all? I'm noting a theme here.
Yeah. We have The Crystal Snare by Richard Dungworth again. This one takes place at the Great Exhibition, and it features alien visitors. And I think that's probably the third or fourth story we know of that takes place at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, yeah.
And so don't run into your other selves or companions while doing it.
No. We have The Corinthian Project by Davey Moore. It looks like the Doctor's just stepped out of the shower. His hair is a bit odd, but anyway. We have Martha on it as well. And when the TARDIS lands in an undersea community known as the Corinthian Project, it doesn't take you long to realise there are some very strange things going on. Explore the project and see if you can uncover the truth.
We have probably the best titled book I've ever come across in the Doctor Who ranges. This one also by Choose Your Own director Colin Brake. The Time Crocodile. And it says, the Space Zoo isn't like any zoo you've ever visited. For a start, some of the animals can talk. Explore the zoo and work out who can be trusted and who has a hidden agenda.
So we have Alien Arena by Richard Dungworth. And if you think Dungworth is an interesting surname, here David is clearly fresh off filming because he has very visible makeup. There is mascara and there is lipstick. It's a look. So he looks like he's Robert Smith from The Cure. You're on an alien prison ship, and there is a ringleader called Mr. Big. So this is possibly a Sex and the City crossover we didn't realise we needed. And Mr. Big has created an arena where aliens from all over the universe are fighting each other. It features Martha, but you wouldn't guess it from the cover. It's Robert Smith, Doctor. And then last and possibly least, it's Choose Your Own Director again. It's Colin Brake and the Spaceship Graveyard with David Tennant obviously concerned about paparazzi putting his hand basically towards the reader. And when the TARDIS engines fail, you find yourselves on a planet littered with abandoned spaceships. But where are the crews? So sounds like the Space Museum.
It does, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully less tedious, but there you go.
So those are the 12 featuring the 10th Doctor.
Right.
And then...
Do you have any favourites of those? Or?
I have not read a single one.
Right,
except
okay,
to notice Colin Brake isn't following the usual format.
Yes.
Then we have a further 4 featuring Matt Smith as the Doctor.
Yes.
And the design was revised a little bit, and the 4 books in the series were planned as a collection because the spine lines up.
Oh, okay.
Nicely.
Which we cannot take as a given in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
No.
And it spells out the Doctor Who logo.
I was going to say it spells out the Doctor's name.
No.
Yes. It's Penguin Publishing.
The interesting thing about these 4 is they all feature returning monsters.
Okay. So we have Matt Smith, not a returning monster, but we have Claws of the Macra by Trevor Baxendale. Yeah, you go on a school trip, yay, to a gas refinery infested by giant alien crustaceans. So basically, it's the Macra Terror. And there's links to exclusive animated scenes.
Which are no longer functional.
Yes,
So,
and it features Amy. So Rory, I guess, is going off doing other things at the time. Yeah, that sounds like a book.
the second one is by Colin Brake and is called The Coldest War. And you might think it features the Ice Warriors, but it doesn't. It features the Sycorax meeting the 11th Doctor, and he still hasn't gotten the memo about the choices because I've flipped to a random page and it's if the Sycorax leader wields his whip, go to this page. If the Doctor wants to hear more, go to this page.
Okay, and we have Jejune Monsoon by Ollie Smith, which features Matt Smith in seemingly his grandfather's coat and Jejune, and it starts off with some Jejune speak in the blurb, and giant alien insectoids are terrorizing a rainy planet, and the Jejune are wreaking havoc too. And it features Amy and Rory, which is nice.
And the final in the Matt Smith line is Empire of the Wolf,
Yes.
featuring the wolf creature from Tooth and Claw.
Yes, but it looks like it's been taxidermized in a bad way. I mean, I don't think there's a good way to be stuffed, but that looks like something's gone badly awry.
And here's an example of how they incorporated the online elements. So the choices are, if you go left, turn to page 3. If you go right and have access to a computer, click on box A on screen and enter the code word run. Or if you go right but don't have access to a computer, go to page 83. So we'll never know what box A animation would have been if we had entered the code word run. So in a way, we have our own set of missing episodes
Yes.
featuring the 11th Doctor.
Oh, how lovely.
Finally, in the new series, we have a pair of books starring Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
And these, I feel, have really nice covers
They do,
comparatively to some of the other ones.
compared to some of the Capaldi books.
And
We have first Night of the Kraken by Jonathan Green. So we have Capaldi looking dashing with, I think that's first series hair. With, like, the hair is not
towards the end of the first series, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of like the hair is not full on, but it's still sizable. And in 18th century England, the Doctor meets a roguish time smuggler and faces terrifying creatures from both land and sea. So, can the Doctor concoct a last-minute plan to save the world? Yes, I think is the answer to that one. I have not read it, but I'm fairly confident in saying.
These two are rebranded as well. So instead of saying decide your destiny, it says choose the future.
Yes.
And the second one is looks like Peter Capaldi on Mars.
Yeah.
And it's Terror Moon by Trevor Baxendale.
Yes.
Wonder which of Mars's two moons
Yeah.
the Doctor is visiting there.
Yes. It doesn't make it clear that it's Mars. It just says, on an abandoned moon base, the 12th Doctor discovers a flesh-eating horror that leaves only the bones of its victims behind. And can the Doctor stop this monstrous being before it's too late? Yes.
Unless you choose
Yes.
not wisely.
But also, this moon could be an egg.
Yeah, it's true. And
This is what happens in Capaldi's.
maybe it's the Earth's moon and it's just a really orange filter.
Yes. Maybe it's Lanzarote again.
This one, too, Trevor Baxendale puts you in the role of the director, where he has things like, if you think the Sonic will open the airlock, go to page 118. But if you think the airlock will stay shut, go to page 83.
Right. Okay. Because I liked the fact with the Choose Your Own Adventures that you were learning that your actions had consequences, that you didn't know what was going to happen, and there would be times where you're like, oh no, that went awry. So you could learn morality. Oh, and have you got one of the Choose Your Own Adventure computer games? I remember reading about those, but those were unavailable where I was.
Not the computer games so much, but those were all the Doctor Who
Yes.
books. And so going back to some of the other Choose Your Own Adventure oddities, maybe, we have the DVD interactive movie, which came out in 2006.
Right.
And so it's an 80-minute movie, and you selected with your remote the choices, starring William H. Macy, Frankie Muniz, Malcolm in the Middle, and prior to her jail time, Felicity Huffman.
But is it animated?
It is. It's fully animated, and it was meant to be the first in a line, but this was the only one that was ever made. And they spent it's better animated than, I'd say, the Doctor Who animations.
Yeah, and it's based on a book by Montgomery, so Edward Packard, I assume, was probably seething.
Yeah. Where's his movie?
And I'm not sure which of these cartoon characters William H. Macy is playing. Maybe he's playing the monkey?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
We should mention there's another Doctor Who related Choose Your Own Adventure live action thing that came out right after the Christmas Invasion. The big red button on the back of this reminded me of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is Attack of the Grask.
Yeah.
Which is about a 15-minute adventure, and you had 3 or 4 choices during that.
Yeah.
And it was specially filmed with David Tennant, and remains the only new series content that, for whatever reason, was filmed in a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Also, that's remind me. So, interactive fiction, but not choose your own adventure. There was Time Fracture in the UK, which was a little bit of a choose your own adventure. In your degree of choice would be you'd be a little bit passive, like who would grab and take you into different areas.
This is like a live action stage show.
Yeah, live action stage show, but across various different rooms, and you would sometimes have somebody sort of telling you the kind of like the weeping angels are coming, and Queen Elizabeth married my wife off to somebody else. This is Queen Elizabeth I rather than the second.
And yeah, a lot of Doctor Who actors filmed special content for that, including Joe Martin, Jodie Whittaker, and David Bradley.
Yes.
A couple of other oddities that have come out. So outside of Choose Your Own Adventure, we have 3 books from Adventure Time called Which Way, Dude? The first one is called BMO's Day Out, all about BMO. The second is Jake Goes Bananas. And the third is Lumpy Space Princess Saves the World.
Okay. Right. I like Which Way, Dude seems to be, it's like with just make a choice. Like, for crying out loud.
We also, Warner Brothers has started publishing their own under the You Choose moniker. They have a full range of Scooby-Doo, as well as newer Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Justice League adventures.
Right.
Unlike most of these, which have black and white illustrations, these have full color, kind of done in the Bruce Timm style.
Yes, I was going to say there was big Bruce Timm energy. And now we have a cooperative adventure game of Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, so there are 2 in these series that have come out so far by Z-Man Games. The first is based on the R.A. Montgomery tale House of Danger, which was one of the earlier books in the line. Played this a couple of times, and it's really fun. It aligns very closely to the book, but it has lots of different choices and really does a good job of displaying kind of that late 70s, early 80s creepy art style.
Yep.
The second one that came out is called War with the Evil Power Master.
Oh, I remember that's an adaptation, isn't it? Because that was,
That was the name of the book.
Yeah.
We also have some larger format size ones, such as Time Travel In. This has been a gift for some of my nieces and nephews, and they seem to enjoy this one quite a bit.
Oh, lovely.
Kind of the premise of the Cave of Time, but if it was within a hotel.
Yes, if it served alcohol, yeah.
And then we have a huge oversized Netflix Stranger Things one called Heroes and Monsters. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of some of these are printed so they look really distressed as kind of a artistic thing, but if you want to maybe describe that one.
It features Eddie on the back as he's about to get very distressed. Spoilers for Stranger Things. Yeah. Should you help the girl named 11 escape shadowy government forces? Well, if you don't, it won't be a very long story.
Yeah.
And who is Vecna and how can he be stopped?
And is that one illustrated as well?
Yeah, let me just check. Is it? No, I'm not seeing any. Oh, there's black and white illustrations, but just small ones. Spiders, which my Australian wife would be rather scared. A very, very bad picture of Dustin and Eddie.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I can recognise Dustin. I'm only just guessing that's Eddie, or it could be a 50-year-old man. It's hard to tell.
We also have a longer length hardcover called The Citadel of Whispers by Kazim Ali, who is born in the UK to parents of Indian descent and is the writer of over 20 books and professor and chair of the Department of Literature at the University of California, San Diego. Right. And this one has a blurb from Will Wheaton on the cover, which says, several challenging and compelling stories to explore, and young adult readers will love them all. And this one even has like a full-on.
Oh, a map of Ilaria featuring such wonderful places as the Pirate Islands and Farmhouse. And yes, certainly in the distance, he has Taika Waititi kind of vibes with his hair.
Yeah.
That's very impressive hair.
And finally, I was one of those kids who in middle school was thinking, gosh, I'm taking pre-algebra next year. Over the summer, I'm going to go check out a book from the library and study up on it.
Right. Okay.
So I wish this was available at the time. This is The Dreg Disaster. This is a choose-your-own-adventure mathematics book.
Yes! All the fun of maths and mice and a robot. Amazing free download included. But like there was a disc in here or something? Yeah, it has illustrations of what appears to be Stan Lee picking up a very small child. And then to continue your adventure, solve this system of equations using graphing. Yeah, graph the following inequality. Okay, oh gosh. And we have algebra featuring mice and satellite dishes. Like my mum, bless her, she's a retired maths teacher, but she has realised that her maths is not up to scratch. So I may well see if I can find this, and I'm sure she'll appreciate it. It's got quotes from Fibonacci. I think Fibonacci was a big fan. Alan Turing also has said, how students have made it through algebra for so long without the Dreg disaster as an enigma. I don't know if Alan Turing really said that. And also Ada Lovelace,
Another Doctor Who connection.
has said that X equals algebra, Y equals understanding, and the Dreg disaster equals X plus Y. Oh, bless you, Ada. And we have Dijkstra saying there should be no such thing as boring mathematics. So I studied computing at a university. Yeah, Dijkstra did do boring mathematics, I have to say. So he knows of what he speaks.
And that is our collection that we brought to share. So
Yes.
that's the wild, wonderful journey through Choose Your Own Adventure books as well as Doctor Who books. At this time, if anyone in the audience has any questions or comments or experiences of maybe your favorite Choose Your Own Adventures that you'd like to share, please feel free.
Okay. Missy, yes?
My favorite thing to do is find all the dumb ways to die.
Ooh.
So I would like to know what your experiences with that. Do you also like to find all of the dumb ways?
So for the benefits of the tape, Missy has asked us for all of the favourite dumb ways to die. But having said dumb ways to die, there's a wonderful thing that in Melbourne they have done to try to kind of like make sure that people don't walk onto train tracks and things, called Dumb Ways to Die. Go and Google that. It's wonderful in animation. It's spectacularly gory and stupid. So go and have a look at Dumb Ways to Die whilst I try and think of anything.
For me, there were a couple there's some very horrific ways to die, especially for books aimed at younger audiences. Things were different in the 80s, I'll tell you that. Latchkey Kid Guide to Choose Your Own Adventures. But one of my favorites happens to be the conceit of, and I first experienced this there was a range of Indiana Jones.
Oh, yes.
Where at one point, as you're exploring a cave system, you can get caught in a recursive loop where it says, you're wandering through the caves, turn to this page. You continue wandering through the caves, and it sends you back and forth, so you never get out of the loop, and you're stuck wandering the caves forever.
Right. That's cruel on kids with a kind of like a completionist vibe, isn't it?
There's another one, I think it's Third Planet from Altair, or The Planet from Altair, where you have like the one good ending in the book, and there's no way to reach it. And they specifically tell you ahead of time that the only way to finish the book is if you make no choices and no decisions. And so that one didn't go over well. It was the only time they tried that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there were some that I found definitely harder than others. I mean, I don't remember necessarily gory deaths. I have a slight idea that I suffered a Katrina-like fate of kind of like being sucked into a void at some point. But yes.
Oh, yeah, there's been some... the Space Vampire series, which was kind of a subset of Choose Your Own Adventure novels. That's the other thing. There are several books in the original 185 book range that are like continuations or sequels of other books. So there's a whole like Master of Ninja, Master of Kung Fu, and you're supposedly the same person doing all these martial arts things. And there's several with the Cave of Time. Return to the Cave of Time.
Yeah.
The Further Adventures of the Cave of Time.
Yet more The Cave of Time.
But yeah, there's some that are sequels to other books as well that are fun.
I just want to talk about the Pip and Jane 6th to Doctor book. In that one, I think you die over half the time.
Right.
You might like that. That one also had a lot of word games, trivia, puzzles that you had to complete in order to move on. That's not a normal thing, right? It's normal. Normally just choose A or B, or do they have those kind of things in the other books?
So the question from Michael was about the Pip and Jane Baker book in particular, where there were the addition of different puzzles and mini challenges that you have to solve in the book, and whether that's typical or not. And it really wasn't. That's Pip and Jane adding their own unique twist to things. And the other piece of that too, so the FAFSA role-playing books is where you'd get like the dice rolls and stuff. There was another series of books called Usborne Puzzle Adventures that was more kind of like the style that Pip and Jane Baker were saying, where like before you could go on, though that was more sequential, but it was like before you could go on to the next page, you had to complete a word find or some sort of puzzle.
But Pip and Jane liked to think that they were being educational. So even in their script, like the reason why they would have certain, shall we say, obscure words was because they were hoping that they would be inspiring the young audience to look up and, okay, really? Okay, all right, you do you. So, yes.
I want to say that the Adventure Time ones.
Yes.
I owned the first one for a while.
Okay.
It also has like the puzzles in it.
Okay. So the Adventure Time has puzzles. Okay, cool. As Matt is flicking through.
Oh yeah. Here's an example of one. It's like a grid, and you have to complete a tree.
Yes. If you finish at a tree, you turn to page 68. If you finish at LSP, I don't know what that is. I thought that said LSD, but turn to page 99.
Close, lumpy space princess. Yeah.
Right, okay, fair enough. I am not so familiar with Adventure Time. Because like seeing all of the different ways of, choose your own adventure, find your fate, etc. reminds me, certainly in the UK, we have Kentucky Fried Chicken. There is relevance, I assure you. But we also as well have Texas Fried Chicken and Dallas Fried Chicken. And there's a whole host of other American-style fried chickens, including, quite close to me, Kennedy Fried Chicken, where you kind of think, someone has not quite understood how this works. and I'm assuming there must have been a lawsuit where things were decided, no, you could just say the area. So I am a vegetarian, but I am told that Tennessee Fried Chicken is quite good if you find yourself in the UK. And also nearby to us used to be Carefully Fried Chicken with a K.
Choose your own fried chicken adventure.
Yes.
All right, well, we're almost at time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all very much for attending. This has been Matt in Minnesota.
Chris in Minnesota, in Bloomington, no less. Sunny Bloomington.
Thank you.
This is where I normally say, happy reading and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast. Special thanks to George C. Music for use of their song Doctor Who Theme Swing Jazz Version. You can follow us on Twitter at ANDWBC Podcast and like us on Facebook. Help other listeners to find us by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. You can contact the show by emailing your thoughts to andwbcpodcast@gmail.com. And until next month, happy reading.
I remember a Choose Your Own Adventure knockoff involving the TV series Mask.
Oh, the cartoon series.
Yes, yeah.
I also don't have that one in my collection yet.
Sorry about that.
This has been a very informative panel for me.
Yes, yes.